The world is not what you think it is. The sooner you accept this harsh truth, the sooner you can stop being its victim. At this very moment, as you watch this, someone far less intelligent than you is winning the respect of others. Someone weaker than you is wielding greater influence. Someone with fewer skills is living the life you dream of. Why? Because they have read the book you were taught to avoid. The dark psychology of human nature. You have been programmed to play a fair game, not knowing that your opponents tore up the rulebook centuries ago. You were conditioned to be kind, while they mastered calculation. You were taught to wait for respect, while they seized it. You think the game is rigged. You're right, but not in the way you imagine. The game is rigged against those who refuse to learn its true rules. It is rigged against those who naively believe in fairness. It is rigged against those who think goodwill is more important than psychological dominance. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli decoded the true mechanics of power and influence for us. He showed us why the good so often finish last, and why intelligent yet ruthless strategists rule the world. Today we will explore the very principles that will transform you. You will go from being the one who is always overlooked to a presence so confident it's dangerous, so powerful it's impossible to ignore. But be warned, once you see the chessboard of human psychology for what it is, you can never go back. You will never again be able to play the innocent victim. Chapter 1. The ruthlessness of wisdom, not the malice of manipulation. The first principle you must master sounds perilous. Ruthlessness. But most people completely misunderstand its meaning. Ruthlessness is not cruelty or treachery. It is cold, emotional discipline. When the tides of emotion, anger, jealousy, frustration, swell within, most people are consumed by them, reacting impulsively and predictably. The truly powerful, however, feel this tide, but choose to stand on the shore, observing it with calm detachment. They understand that emotions are information, not instructions. When someone publicly belittles you in a meeting, the emotional response is to defend yourself, to become angry. This only makes you appear weak and validates the attacker's power. The wisely ruthless response is this. You note the attack, you feel the fire of your anger, and then you ask yourself one cold question. What response will, to the greatest extent, elevate my status while diminishing his? This is not about becoming an unfeeling monster. On the contrary, it demands a higher level of self-mastery, to channel the raw energy of your emotions into precise, strategic actions that serve your long-term goals. This is tactical self-preservation, not malicious manipulation. Chapter 2. Trust, the ultimate leverage of power. Machiavelli's strategies can win you a battle, but overusing them will lose you the war. While short-term psychological advantages are tempting, we must add a more profound dimension. Trust. In modern society, especially in fields requiring long-term cooperation, trust is the most efficient and potent lever of power. A pure manipulator will eventually find himself isolated because no one is willing to form a deep alliance with an unpredictable black box. The true masters of power understand that beyond the ferocity of the lion and the cunning of the fox, there is a third form, the reliability of the nest builder. By delivering on their promises time and again, they become the most trustworthy partners in the eyes of others. When crisis strikes, people will instinctively gather around them. This authority, built on trust, is far more stable than any fleeting psychological tactic. Don't just think about how to win the next argument. Think about how to win the long-term trust of others. The former makes you seem powerful. The latter makes you truly powerful. Chapter 3. The battlefield determines the weapon. The wisdom of context. You cannot perform heart surgery with a hammer. Likewise, you cannot apply these laws of power indiscriminately. These principles are rules of survival in highly competitive, zero-sum environments, such as business negotiations, career advancements, or when facing down a rival. In these battlefields, your kindness will be perceived as weakness, your concessions as cowardice. However, to bring this same arsenal into your family, your intimate friendships, or a team that requires creative collaboration would be toxic. In these spaces, empathy, vulnerability, and authenticity are the cornerstones of deep connection. The truly wise possess a complete strategic toolkit. They know how to assess the situation. When facing wolves, they show their fangs. With family, they open their arms. They can clearly discern whether the game before them is a war of survival or an alliance of mutual victory. Chapter 4: The Many Forms of Power, from Confrontation to Attraction. Power is often misunderstood as pure confrontation, but true dominance is often a force of gravity, not a force of push. Beyond direct psychological confrontation, there are more advanced forms of influence: the gravity of expertise. When you become an indispensable expert in a field, your opinion carries its own weight. People will actively seek your approval, and power will naturally tilt in your favor. The gravity of vision. Propose a common goal that excites everyone. When people follow your vision, you don't need to dominate them. They will voluntarily clear obstacles for you. The gravity of a value network. Become a generous connector and enabler. Your value lies not in what you possess, but in what you can bring to others. Do not be content merely with making others fear you. That is the most basic form of power. Aspire to make others need you, trust you, and ultimately follow you. Chapter 5: The Ultimate Dominion, Mastery of Self. Thus far, we have discussed how to navigate the external world. But the root of all power points to one final battlefield: your own mind. You are easily manipulated because your internal value system is unstable, overly dependent on the validation of others. You fall into emotional reactions because you have not yet tamed the beast within. A person with a solid sense of self and clear personal principles is a powerful force field unto themselves. They do not need to belittle others to prove their worth, because their value is generated from within. They are not easily provoked because they know their goals are far more important than the immediate provocation. Before you study how to influence others, first learn how to not be influenced by them. This means building an indestructible psychological core. When you achieve this, you will find that you no longer need to consciously use any techniques. Your very presence becomes its own authority. Conclusion: from awakening to freedom. I know that after hearing all this, you may feel a certain weight, perhaps even a sense of unease, because these principles, like a sharp scalpel, have dissected the gentle, idealized world we were taught to believe in. But remember, revealing these truths is not about making you callous and unfeeling. It is about empowering you to stop punishing yourself with your own goodness. Your past grievances, the times you were overlooked, the moments you were taken advantage of. It wasn't because you weren't good enough. It was precisely because you were too good. So good that you forgot that in this complex game of chess, you too must protect your own king. True strength is not abandoning kindness. It is possessing the wisdom to see the entire board and still choosing, at the moments that matter, with the people who deserve it, to offer the deepest warmth and sincerity. This is a conscious choice, a kindness that comes from a place of strength, not weakness. Stop begging for respect. Start earning it. The game has already begun. Now, I want to hear your story. Have you ever felt wronged or overlooked for being too kind and accommodating? What was the moment you realized the world doesn't always play by the script of good deeds are rewarded? Now share your story in the comments. Here, we are not isolated players, but a community of fellow travelers on the path of awakening. Let us listen to one another and empower each other. If even one sentence today has moved you, has opened a new window for you, please don't forget to leave a like. Every like is a beacon of light that can help more friends, still fumbling in the fog, find this path to clarity and strength. And of course, Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications, because today's awakening is just the beginning. In the future, we have much more wisdom to explore together on human nature, strategy, and self-growth. My friends, until next time.